We're still talking about we're doing our real estate update over here. So, Scott, why don't you give us a quick update? What's going on the? I saw the news, Scott, that we finally we're not quite where Maui is, but we finally went over the $1 million median mark for single family homes. Scott, what's going on? What do you want to report on Oahu real estate wise? That's newsworthy.
I mean, 2 months ago, I said, but prior to the end of the summer, we're going to hit $1 million on the median home price. So here we are.
There you go.
Not surprising. I mean, I actually watched a local economist yesterday. There was some interesting stuff. So we're up 21% in price year to date for single family home. We're actually up 27% for the last month. But this is too small of a data set. But we're still, I mean, I looked at the number of active homes, 443. We still just have no inventory, and there's almost 800 homes in escrow. So it's a tight market. Essentially, what you're looking at is, between 10 and 30 people competing for a home. And that's what you're up against on the single family home side. And it hasn't changed. It hasn't slowed down at all yet. And there's not that much inventory. We're going to come out of the summer months. Now the kids are back in school. There's going to be less movement on the sales side. So we actually may see less listings coming on the market. On the condo side, we're up 6% year to date, but 9% last month in price. But the interesting thing is I mentioned it last month, we had 1,500 active condos on the market for sale. We're now down to 933. So we've just lost a ton of inventory. And I've been saying that inventory is starting to shrink and dive like the single family home side. So prices are going to start moving in that double digit range moving forward here for condos. So I don't see a slowdown. And my other point I've been trying to make to people who are thinking about that condo side is they're not that there's hesitation, but what happens when the international buyer is not here? And 25% of Oahu's sales this year have been to mainland buyers, but the international pool has been there hasn't been any. What happens when everybody has been rethinking their lives at home during COVID and things opened up and we got this big push? What happens when the international market doesn't require the quarantine when they go back, and now we get the international buyer and they're going to be significantly in the condo market area? What's going to happen to Kaka'ako, Waikiki, that range in there, Ala Moana? I think we're going to get a strong push from the international buyer at that time too.
That's a nice long way of saying prices are going up. Prices are going up. That's what's kind of going on over there. And those condo prices, Jim Stevenson, buddy, you've been looking at those Kaka'ako condos. You better hurry. You better get on with Scott and get that bad boy happening. I've got a good friend of mine, long-term friend, Forrest Shoemaker. Forrest and I go back to 30 years, right? Forrest, easy. He said, Peter, you should have Lance Owens from Big Island on next time, Big Island President Realtors Association. Dylan, bring Lance on the show. Bring him on as a guest.
Lance is a good dude. I know him well.
Lance is a good dude. Dylan, why don't you give us an update on kind of what's going on give us the Big Island update that's newsworthy about real estate. Besides, again, it's bananas. We know it's bananas. There's no inventory. Prices are crazy. Give us something. Give us something else. Give us a story. Give us something good.
It's pretty much status quo over here. I mean, the last couple of months, my market reports have been a broken record. Inventory super low. We're starting to see number of sales fall like month after month. They're compared to last year, obviously way up, but that's mostly due to just there's not as much inventory on the market, so you can't sell as much stuff. The interesting thing this month is condos cracked island-wide, cracked 100% final list to sell price. So people are getting almost 100% on all homes are like 99%, lands like 96%. So it's all like right at the limit pretty much. But condos are on average selling higher than what they're listed for. And I always tell people that the top line number, right, is a year ago there was 2,800 listings for property on the Big Island and 1,000 in escrow. Today there's 1,395 active listings and there's 1,396. There's one more in escrow than there is active listings. So we're like less than 50% what there normally is, and there's just as many properties under contract as there are available. It's crazy. I looked in my market today, in Kona today, there's 18 homes under $1 million in the market. There's usually 50, 60. So
It's really, I mean, there was that one line that our friend the economist Scott that you mentioned. I'm assuming that you're talking about Paul Brubaker. Paul's a really good friend of mine. I've known him for decades, and he said it sums it up really simple. There's more people who want to buy and no one wants to sell, and that's what it comes down to. Nobody wants to sell, and
the crazy thing is, right, is like you keep thinking like something's got to happen here, something's got to give. I had this experience last week where this $1.5 million home comes on the market, clearly in a neighborhood that has very easy to comp, right? Not a super unique property in a nice gated neighborhood, but clearly $200,000 over what it probably appraised for. And so I have buyers that offer them 1.4, 100,000 over what it probably appraised for, and commit to paying 100,000 more than the appraisal if the appraisal comes in low, and the sellers rejected it. Then 3 days later, it went into escrow. I'm assuming for full price. somebody's willing to pay 200K over full price. So yeah, I mean, you try and even I'm never comfortable having people overpay for something, but if they're willing to, and they were smart, savvy buyers, this was an investment, they knew what they were doing, and still, it wasn't enough to commit to pay 100,000 over the very probable appraised value. So,
I mean, look, I mean, as a homeowner, we're at a stage where our house is pretty soon already is too big, right? So we don't need the kind of house that we've got, and we're kind of thinking about, okay, let's kind of downsize, move out of the house and get into a condo. I'm afraid to do that. I'm afraid because it's like I'm going to sell the darn house, and we're not going to be able to find the darn condo, and so the hell with it. I'm just going to hang on to this darn thing. And oh, by the way, it's appreciating, and like Scott said, 20%. So why on earth? It's it's like almost like a stock market kind of a thing. Why on earth would I want to consider selling something if I know that next year, at the current rate, next year there could be a 20% price appreciation? Why on earth would I want to sell that? So it's this really crazy cycle. I mean, it's really going to be crazy. It's going to do what economics does. The price is going to continue to go up until some people say, okay, I'm going to sell now. Right? I'll sell my house for 10 million. Got it. So Kinaya, we're ready to buy your house. Hey girl, love you. I'm not taking anything under 10 million. So just to let you all know. So the offers start at 10 million. Just kidding.
That's called a make me move offer.
That's a make me move offer, man. Buy me 10 million. Okay, 10 million, I'll sell. Anyway, and just to be joking, my house isn't worth anywhere near 10 million. Then again, it may be. Who knows? Heidi, give us the update. What's happening on Maui, newsworthy of the real estate market, besides the $45 million property that I wish you sold?
Well, I mean, same story over on Maui. Inventory is low. It's a totally different market. And the idea of what a reasonable price is for a property has just changed so much in the last 6 months. I mean, what I would have thought even 3 months ago is different than what's now. And it's just really important to keep a pulse on the market. And I think the strategy for buying is different. I mean, you have to kind of do your due diligence up front before the listings even come on the market, because once the listings come on the market, there's not time to go over there a couple times and think about it and go home and then do inspections and ask for this and that. I mean, you really have to kind of start, like, I'm working with buyers before we even make offers, before properties are on the market. So you can be ready to jump in there when the time is right. And everybody's worried about, oh, all the listings are going to get sold, there's going to be no more inventory. Well, I have sellers that are moving, people have life changes, are retiring. I mean, there's all different reasons people sell that has nothing to do with the market. So in a good market or bad market, I mean, you're still going to have things coming on the market. It's about understanding what the current market is and adjusting your approach to fit that and get what you want.
Yeah, thank you, Heidi. It's really gonna. I think you really summed it up. We're really kind of going into uncharted territory, right? I mean, none of us have ever seen anything like this. This makes there was a Japanese bubble in the late 80s. Scott, I think you were probably around during that. There was a Japanese bubble where the foreign buyers, the Japanese buyers were buying up real estate like crazy, and it was just kind of going up, up and up and up and up, and then it kind of bubbled out. But this, I think that pales in comparison to the kind of increases that we're seeing now. Okay.